Welcome in. I just wanted to jump on real quick and talk about filing because e-filing is crucial to not just making beautiful nails, great structure, and getting them all to look alike. It is very important if you want a long career because you want to take as much stress off of your hands and your fingers as possible. So, many years ago, like maybe around 2019, I went to Young Nails for their 1 week course. And I think the most valuable thing at that time was their I formation roadmap for e filing. And I just wanted to kind of share that with you guys because it was a complete game changer. Not only was I able to shed time off of my total service, but I was able to start making the nails look better, the lines were stronger, everything about it was just enhanced. So I really just wanted to share that to as many people as possible because it's a system and it works. So we're going to start with our eye formation roadmap, right? So the first thing we want to start with is understanding the different parts of the nail, right? So let's say here, let's put a nail down, right? So let's say that this nail is divided into thirds. So we're going to put these into, into different zones. So we'll have zone 1 up here, zone 2, zone 3. Actually, let me get a pen. That might work better. I don't know if you guys can see that, but let's do that. So we'll do zone 1. Let's do zone 2 and zone 3. All right, and then we can take that same concept of the nail, right? We'll make another nail, and we'll take that, and we can also divide that, if we think of the nail on a vertical, and divide that into zone 1, zone 2, and zone 3. And since we're talking about e-filing, all right, let's say, here, let's do the bit. So let's say that we're working with the course safety bit from Young Nails. So if this is our bit, we're going to take her and also divide her into 3 zones. So everything gets divided into thirds. The top half is 1, the middle would be 2, and I'm sorry, top third, second, and zone 3 at the bottom of that. So we start there, right? So to start with our eye formation, let's trace the, we'll say let's start with the letter I, right? So let's draw a big fingernail. Get a whole nail. I know, right? I'm not the best artist when it comes to, let's do it the other way. So let's do it this way. Here, let's make it even easier. Let's just start with something that's already drawn out for us, right? So let's start here. So if we take this, and we're gonna start by tracing the letter I. So let's bring her up. We have that, right? We all know the letter I. From here, we want to start to understand that the lower part of the eye is everything that is below the smile line. So let's assume we have a smile line, right? So here's our lower. It's everything that's below the smile line. And then the top of the eye is going to be everything that's above that smile line. And then the center of the eye, that whole stem, that's going to represent our upper arch. So from our apex going into our upper arch. And I hope that makes sense from now. So this is our upper, this is our lower, and our center is our upper arch. All right, so let's hope that makes sense. Let's bring that into actual practice though, so we can see how that's gonna be applicable. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna start with that center. So here, I already made a friend. Hey everybody, welcome in. Hey Kim, welcome in. Oh, thanks Clara. I just started my nails last night actually, so they're not all done yet. All right, so let's get into it. So the first thing we want to do, right, we said we're going to start with the letter I. So let's bring that onto our nail. I just built this one out, so she is raw. Here's our letter I, right? We said everything lower, then the upper, and then our upper arch is in the center. All right, so let's go in. I'm going to get my file, and I like to have her kind of out of the truck a little bit because she's a little bit of a longer nail. And I'm going to bring her up to 13,000 RPMs. There we go. I'm doing this solo. Usually I have like a cameraman to help out a little bit. So this is my first time trying to do this solo and going live. So hopefully this will all make sense and it'll flow pretty well. All right, so to do our center of the eye, start that upper, we want to take it from that side profile. So I'm just going to move my client so I can see her from this. And I'm going to do zone 1 of my E-file to zone 1 of the nail. Zone 2 will naturally connect. And I'm going to come down the center till I get to zone 3. So 3, 2, 1. And I'm not going the whole way, right? We're not going from side to side. We're just doing that center area. So it builds all the way around. Our next area is we want to do that cuticle, which is going to be the top of the eye. I generally like to start at the top of the corner and work my way around. And this is why we love the safety bit. So I can just line it right up and I'm not going to cut my client. Very nice. Now, some people, when they're starting out, what you could also do if you really wanted to in that cuticle area is you can like take it in half, and we can do this way first. Same thing, I'm going to use zone 1 of my bit, bring it around that cuticle, just make contact, bring it towards you. And then some people, if that is going to be hard for you, some people will still like to take zone 3 of our bit and bring that so it comes towards you to blend down the rest of that cuticle. Either way is totally fine. You have to do what works for you and what's successful for you. But either way, totally works. So we've come down the center of the eye. We've done the top of the eye. So now we're going to do that bottom stem for our free edge, right? I hope this makes sense so far. So we're going to come down. We're going to use zone 3, 2, 1. Because now we're looking at how it's broken down in those thirds on a vertical plane. So zone 1 to 1, 2 to 2, 3 to 3. And when you're looking down the barrel, you're really not, don't focus on the bit. That's not what we want to look at. We want to look at the nail. And it's amazing how, like, when you start focusing and just looking at the nail of what needs to be done, you will start to naturally bring your eye, or the bit will actually just start bringing itself to where it has to go. If you just stare at the bit, it's kind of like driving a car. If you're just staring at the bit, or you're just staring at the car in front of you, you're not seeing the whole picture, and you're going to wind up, kind of maybe hitting something. All right, so we've done our letter I. What that leaves us are these little bulky pieces right about there, right? Because we've done this whole thing. So we're going to use that to remove our bulk and to do any blending, so we can blend down zone 1 to 2 to 3. All right, back on 13,000 RPMs in my overhead grip, and I'm looking down the barrel of the nail, and I'm just looking at the nail, And I'm going to use zone 3, zone 2 to 1. And I'm just going to blend it down. So zone 1 to 1, looking at it on a vertical, bring it down, 2, and then 3. And just blend it all the way down. And I'm just kind of looking, make sure everything is blended, there's no lumps. I'm going to check it from my profile. And you can see it's pretty much there. The whole interior is pretty much done. You can see where the apex is going to start. Bring that upper arch all the way through. And that does all of our interior filing. So from there, we can kind of go in and clean up our perimeter lines. And for that, we can do our 5-point filing, right? So 5-point filing, this is how we get all of our nails to look like sisters. Whoop, I got your file. Let me slide back into my spot. All right. So 5-point filing. First point, we're going to come right in line with our side 1. And then what I do is I hold that file stable with my index finger so it doesn't flex or move. And then when I want to come over to the next point, if you notice, I just take my index finger and just stabilize that file on the other side. Nice and straight. Nice and straight. And I start to use my file line where that dust line is so I can see that it's on both sides. So we do zone 1, zone 2. Now for 3 and 4, you want to get your client on that profile. Very easy to do. Just kind of go, turn them. And anything that's hanging lower, we want to file that out. So we want to see the blue part of the file. If you start seeing more of the gray of the file, then you've changed your angle and you're going to wind up cutting into the nail. We just want nice straight lines. So we're going to hold that file parallel. Most of our pressure is going to be on the up. Yes, you can do it back and forth if you need to, but the pressure is on the up. Come around, let's do the other side. And anything again, you see where it's hanging a little bit lower. We're going to bring that up, file that in, file that in, file that in. So that gives us zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4. Now zone 5 is our free edge. The only time 5 does not exist is when you're doing a point, because it would already, there is no free edge. It kind of goes in all on its own. Say 5-point filing, 5 or 4, depending on the shape you're doing. Okay. So I want to do like a little bit of a square with slightly turned inside. So I'm just going to put that file so it's under, hit both sides, and that just slightly bevel our sides out. Very nice. Now just to dust up anything, clean up anything on the inside, take my file like I was gonna play tennis, or I don't know. What's the new one? That's pickleball. That's like the new popular thing out there, right? So I'm just gonna hold on to it and I'm gonna come up and over the nail. And this is just gonna help refine it. But all we're doing is you're coming up and over, up and over. So you kind of make like these C shapes on the nail. Let me come up and return. My pressure is mostly on the up, mostly on the up. I follow through by coming back around, back around, back around, back around. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. So I'm going to change my position. This is where we're going to hold it down. So make our peace sign, put our file down, and then hold it in place with our thumb. And then make that same motion. And you can start to see the scratch marks on there to show you that you're doing it. Bring it over, bring it over. We're just going to surf the whole surface of the nail. Come around, come around. All right, and that last little bit right here at the free edge, again, I'm going to look down the barrel And I just want to make sure everything is blended. Everything is blended. Nice and clean. Thin at the free edge. I know a lot of people say like credit card. You know, as long as the structure is there, she shouldn't break at all. I'm going to do a few strokes just around that cuticle area. And what I like to do around the cuticle area is I'm going to take my client, and I am not going to sit there and try to move everything. I'm going to move my client to where I need her to be so I can make those lines really nice and clean around that cuticle area. Now, this is important. You have to check it from all angles. So you check from the side, you check down the barrel, and now I'm going to look at the perspective that the client sees, and I'm going to look down the barrel this way from the cuticle towards the free edge. I want to make sure my lines are nice and clean, that I didn't favor one side or the other, and if I did, that's okay. This is when you start kind of just refining and tightening everything up. Tighten up my lines. Make sure everything is straight. And then if you want to, you can kind of come down the barrel and make sure everything is nice and smooth. And you can see that upper arch. You can see it on the profile. See it on the profile. Oh, watch her. Boop. Sorry, she's a little arthritic. Aren't we all, though? We all get the itis, right? All right, here we go. See? And there's our filing. Pretty straightforward. You do this every single time. I swear, I promise you, do this every single time you do a nail. You will get faster. Your nails become more and more accurate. The lines get stronger and tighter. Absolutely foolproof. Anybody can do it. Just got to do it over and over again, right? 10,000 times to be a master. All right. I was just cleaning it off with a little bit of swipe. Super easy to do. I know this is going to be a quick one this time because I know that the Vibe Nail Lounge is going to be going live tonight too. And honestly, guys, I need to catch that. It's where I get my motivation from, is watching Melissa and Eric do their thing and showing us. So let's get some top coat on her, and then we'll call it a day. All right, so let's do our manicure top coat. Love manicure. Easy. It applies super well. It doesn't bulk out. It doesn't shrink. All the way in, wipe away our extra. She's a little bit longer, so I'm going to start at my free edge, work my way up. When I get closer to the top or towards the cuticle, I'm going to slow my roll, pressure down, and then just open up that brush so it just kind of kisses right into that area. Bring her down, and then just double check. Could I use Protein Bond before I did this? Yeah, you can. You can. Protein Bond's great for that. If you think you're going to see scratch marks, oh my gosh, totally use it. It'll fill in all your scratch marks before your color. It's like your insurance. It's not going to like chip or peel. But for this demonstration, I just wanted to use just something quick. A little top coat, make her shiny. I'm going to put her underneath the light. So 60 seconds. Get her in there. And we'll go. I hope that makes sense. Do we have any questions? Hey, Lauren, welcome in. All right. So little things that I get a lot, or I have a lot of, I get the question a lot is like, how do you know when to flash cure or when to do a full cure, 30 seconds or 60 seconds? You know, an easy rule of thumb is when, if the color is super opaque, you have to do the full 60 seconds every time, because you need to make sure that it's gone all the way through and that it's cured all the way through. If you're doing something a little bit, hey Davina, welcome in. Thank you so much. You know, when you're working and your color is like more translucent or it's clear, it's very see-through, you can do some flash curing because that light's going to have an easier time penetrating through. All right. I'm going to come in with a little bit of swipe on my cotton round. Get my dispersion layer off. And then here we go. Right? Let's see if I can zoom this in a little bit. All right, so we can see our shape is in there. Right. Here's our profile. The lower arches are looking really good. Lower arches looking good, nice and parallel from the growth channels. Same on this one. Nothing's really hanging down. And then I wonder if we can show this angle here. So if you look down the barrel, you know, she's not very thick, you know. Nice and clean. She's ready to go. Super easy. Alrighty, friends. Well, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I know it's a quick one, but the Vibe Nail Lounge is going live at 9 o'clock. So that's like my version of nail school. I got to get my book set up, see what kind of fun things we're going to learn with Melissa and Eric tonight. So thank you guys for coming on and learning with me and hanging out. And we'll see you again next Monday, unless we have any questions. No? Thanks, Serendipity. Thanks, Tammy. I appreciate you. Thanks for joining. You know, I think it's the whole filing systems that we've learned at OWC, I think is like crucial. I think everybody should know that, because I've seen so many, like when I started out trying to learn how to use the e-file, you know, most people were like, oh, you know, you just look at it and just kind of, and it was like chicken pecking at it. And I was like, there's got to be a system so it's consistent. All right. Yay. All right. Well, I will definitely, actually, you know what? I might not be able to go, I might not be able to go live too much. Well, no, next Monday I can, but the Monday after that, we're going to be in Vegas. So, I'll do something live. I'm just not sure what yet, but I will definitely be on next Monday. We'll do something. Don't know what it'll be yet. We'll see what tickles the pickle at that point. Alrighty, friends. Thanks for joining. We'll see you next week. Okay, bye.